All right, everybody, welcome to the Studying Brew, episode 1096 on this beautiful Wednesday evening. Tonight, it is going to be a little bit of fun. It is going to be some content. What are we going to talk about tonight, Brandi?
The Fed and interest rates.
All right, just so meta, as the kids say. It is what is happening right now. The Fed did meet today. So Brandi was like, you know what? Let's do a little bit of content tonight. It's going to be fun. It is in the newspapers a lot. Sometimes we see things in the articles and whatnot. We hear the conversation happening in the office. We hear people talking on the radio, the socials, wherever we were hearing your information. And it's kind of fun when you are studying this stuff to get like it's almost like entering the matrix, right? And you take the which pill?
I can never remember.
I can't ever remember. I think it's the red one. Is it the blue one? I don't know. The one where you get to see everything, right? You're in the Matrix, you know what's going on. And I totally thought you would know that because that's your favorite movie of all time.
It is.
So, and you're like, whoa, now I know what's going on. But here's the thing, you hear all this stuff out there. Not all of that's tested. Not all of that is tested. It is, you got to know that there's test world and there's real world. And that's just what's going to happen, right? And that way, you can get the stuff that you need to get right on those questions, and you got to get those answers correct.
Yes.
Yeah, test world, right? And so that's what we're going to do tonight. We're going to have free content tonight. My name is Andy. I am the guy that runs the back office over here at KonaButterflyz. You're not here for me and me trying to get through this opening. You're here for Brandi. She's got her Series 6, 63, 26, 65, and her Series 7, which makes her more than qualified for teaching you all the things you need to know. So that way you too can get a pass notice.
It is the red pill.
It is the red pill. There you go. The red pill. Thank you, Joanna. Joanna, our what do you want to call it?
Fact finder.
Fact finder. Like when you like call a game or whatever, there's always the statistician, the person, no. There's always somebody behind the commentators that hands them the piece of paper with all the facts they need to know. Oh yeah, the third baseman over there was drafted, and his mother is of a certain descent, and she loves this kind of food and makes it for that person all the time. Like they have these weird like stats and things and interest stories, right? That's Joanna. She does that for us. So thank you, Joanna, for bringing that out, because I for sure thought Brandi knew. All right. Well, anyways, we're not here to talk about the Matrix. Like I said, we're going to talk about the Fed tonight. We're going to get some content. But first, we had I want to say this, and I can't say this enough. Look, when you do Kona with us as a member, we want you to be locked in with us. There's a reason why we do the things that we do. I know sometimes we're unconventional. I know that sometimes people will ask us for advice and do the opposite. And then they go, well, someone else told me to do something different. Look, guys, I don't know how many people we've got past by this point. I stopped counting. It's a lot. I stopped. One of the reasons I stopped counting is because one, it's not about the people that we already got past. It's the next person. That's how I feel. And the Brandi started feeling the same way. It's not about the ones we already got. It's the ones we need to get. It's the people that are on right now, the people that are doing our system, the people that are plugging in, they're paying for us, the ones that we talk to all the time. The next one, it needs to get that SIE 663, the one who needs to get that promotion, the one that's where my focus is on the future, not necessarily on the past, right? The present and the future. Got to keep moving forward. And then the way we operate, we're only as good as our last pass notice, right? To be honest, it doesn't matter how many we have, there's still going to be someone who's going to question everything we did. It doesn't matter how many we get, there's always that one person that goes, are you sure? I don't know how many we could, like we have the Kona Hall of Fame, and I literally go check out the Kona Hall of Fame. I don't know what else to say. Like we know what we're doing. Brandi has all those licenses, right? And we get lots of great tips, and lots of great testimonies from people who passed using us, and they tell us exactly what they do, and then we compile all that information from all these people that passed their and got all these pass notices, right? And then we come up with great solid advice, and we pass it on to all of you so you guys can do it. And I will say this is one of the ones that always is the hardest for people to get past. and they either they most of the time people don't want to hear it, and some people sometimes and really embrace it. And one of the things I want you to really focus on, because there was 2 attempts, like I feel like they could have passed, and they did not do what we said, and I feel it was the breaking point. Brandi and I are huge on this, especially if your exam is in the morning the next day. Do not, do not, do not, do not, I don't care. I know that Brandy's going to say something more fluffy and be like, well, it doesn't matter. As long as you just like whatever and you keep it light. Look, no, I'm going to say it like this. I'm going to tell you right now. This is what I want you to do the night before your exam. Do anything but study. Stop studying at night the day before your exam. Stop trying to crunch everything in there and put it in your brain the night before. Stop doing these exams, these full exams, these practice exams, these masteries because someone told you in your office that's what you should do. No offense to people that help out in the offices. No offense. There's quite a few office managers that we talk to. So if you're like, are you talking about me? No, go back to reading, go back to doing whatever you're doing. Not you. We're talking about people. This is general. A lot. This has happened for I don't know how long. There's so many different offices that go, you will, if you take the Kaplan or mastery or whatever, or you take the FINRA practice exam the night before, the day before, it'll tell you if you pass or fail. At that point, whether it's a pass or a fail, does it going to help you the next day on the real exam? Not at all. That score will not help you at all. Even if it's a good score and a passing score, do you know what happens when you have that? You go in there a little too nonchalant. You go in there a little too cocky. You go in there a little too much. You know what I mean? You're feeling it. You're like, oh, I already passed the practice exam, so that means I got it. And FINRA put that out there just for this purpose. Nah. It gives you the wrong. It gives you that false sense of
it's like false positive.
Yeah. There. Wow. You don't want to say false positive too much. I think that triggers people when you say false positive.
It's a real term.
I know, but you know how people are these days. But it is right. It's a false. It just gives you this false sense of like you're gonna go ahead and go in there and ace it, and you shouldn't feel that way at all.
And not try as hard as you normally would.
No, it doesn't mean anything. Just much like if you took a full exam the day before, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that is actually what I was looking for. Thank you, Denise. False sense of security.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. And you go in there and you take, it doesn't matter if it's a practice exam, by the way. It doesn't matter if it's mastery. It doesn't matter if it's like a full quiz of 85, whatever it is. It doesn't matter at that point. I hate to tell you this, but you're not going to put any more information in the next like few hours before you go to bed and then stress yourself out the next morning. Did I remember any of it? Probably not. But I will say this. Same goes for if you failed. If you failed any of those little practice exams, you quizzes, you botched it, you freaked out, it's like it's not that now you don't have the cockiness. Now it's even worse. You have no self-confidence. Now you're not sure. Now you're freaking out. Now you're stressed out. Now you're emailing, DMing, texting, calling, saying, I don't know if I know this stuff. I don't know. I'm sure. I don't la la la. Look, stop doing any of that. Stop it. The other reason why, besides the self-confidence and all the stuff about, the uncertainty and all that stuff, and then and putting that into your consciousness and the negativity and all this other stuff you start spiraling on, that's really what it is. Most of you spiral more than there's spirals in a honey baked ham. You got to stop. But the other thing on all of this is, why don't you listen to me well, all of you? You got to rest your computer. That is your brain. You have to rest it. You really do. You need a break. You need to step away. You need to stop. And I know there's a lot of people that are like, well, I like to take a quiz the night before. Well, what if I take a quiz and I don't care and I take a 10 question? What if I just sit in and ask, or do a study session or a study group? What did I say? No studying, no thinking. Shut it all down. Stop. Shut it down. If your place of serenity is, go praying, meditate, go for a walk, do any of those things. Go watch a movie with your kid, right? Go spend time with your kids
Color.
because you haven't seen them for a minute, right? Go spend time with your spouse, partner, whatever it is. You go if you've been putting off date nights because you're studying and you told them like, I'm not going to do anything. I mean, I'm not saying go all out on a crazy date night, right? We're not doing celebratory stuff. We're not drinking alcohol. We're not going to be drinking big food or eating big food that upsets our stomach. I'm talking about going out and probably getting, something small, whatever, normal, and just getting out of the house, right? Even if you're trying to save a buck, go have a picnic at the park, do whatever, right? Anything but study. Anything but study. Relax. Take a breath. Take a moment. But I want to. Look. If you must, which isn't bad, I would go over the study guide, look through it, peruse it.
Your notes.
Maybe some of your notes. Maybe a couple at this point you should be a couple flashcards you're looking at, a couple things you just want to look at.
Your study sheet.
Your study sheet.
Your study sheet, not a pre-made one from a big company.
Right. The study sheet that we talk about all the time on how to do it in the Konas.
Yes.
In the KonaLives, right? If you don't know how to do it, we have great notes. We have a episode on notes and how to do it. We have how to be prepared in the Kona, right? On our membership, we have all those great things. Do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But do not do a study session. And definitely don't pour over questions that you got wrong before in whatever Q bank you're in. That is the worst thing you could do. Because I'll tell you this right now. And listen well. None of those questions are going to be on the exam. So what are you wasting your time on? Many times Q banks are just putting stuff out there to put stuff out there. Bill needed a quota before lunch and he got his burrito and he just put this whole question out there. They don't know what's on the exam any more than anybody else does. And then you're going to stress yourself over some meticulous fact about something that it probably isn't even on the exam. One of the most classic is like if you're studying the 65, most 65 people will go over the math formulas like they're going to go launch a rocket tomorrow. Stop. It's not. You're lucky if you even get a math question on the exam, to be honest with you. It's a much to do about nothing. SIE studiers, what do they pick up? What do they go over? What do they keep doing? Going over options. Oh, I must master the options the night before. Oh, I just need to look at it one more time. Oh, I need to take a quiz on it one more time. Oh, I'm not sure. Let me call somebody up and let's do a study session on options. And do you know what I'm going to tell you right now? This is the true facts. This is the truth right here. You ready for the truth? You do that. You don't listen to what we're saying. You go and study anyway. You go ahead and go get that study group going, that session. And let's say even if it was a successful study session, you went and did it anyway. You went and did the options and you looked over it. Do you know what happens on the next day on the exam? Everything that you didn't look at is the topics that are going to be on there. And guess what you did? You put all the files on that one thing in your brain up in the forefront, and that's all you can think about, and you can't remember anything about any of the other area sections or units or anything else because you in the last 24 hours just drilled yourself into the ground on one section, one area, and that is where you did good. But guess what happened in all the other areas and sections and units? They were below par because you ignored them because you were so focused and hyper focused on something, and you got the one or two questions right. But guess what happens with all the other ones? They suffered. Guys, stop doing that kind of approach. Stop doing that. If you need help and you want a comprehensive plan, and you want to know what to do 7 days before the exam, Kona has you covered. We literally cover that all the time on how to do that. It's in our study plans. It's in every study plan that we have out there. Nowhere in the study plans on anything that we have out there does it ever say that you need to do all the things that you guys want to do. In fact, it says the opposite. And if you ask us, it's the opposite. So take that as you will. It's free advice. It's literally coming from I don't know how many people that pass these exams and years of people and their testimonials and telling us everything and literally going over what worked, what did not work, why some people pass, why some people don't, even especially when they know the content and they're scoring high. Most of the time, they push it too hard at the end. They panic, they freak out, they spiral, they focus on areas and sections way too much in one area and they ignore the other. Or the other thing that they do is they went and did that study session, it didn't go well, and on the way to the exam, not even in the exam room, they failed it already because they got all the negativity, they let all that in, and all the way in that car ride, all they're thinking about is all the wrong things. Guys, you gotta really take care of your mental space. You gotta take care of that brain of yours and make sure it's well rested and make sure that you're well, prepared, not just with content, but also with a great plan. And if you haven't got onto the plan, if you haven't joined us yet, and if I haven't convinced you yet, and if you're not taking advantage of all the things that we got, get in on it. Scan the QR code, hit the links. We got 21-day plans, we got 30-day plans, we got 60-day plans, we got all kinds of plans over there for the SIE 6, 63, 26, 65, and we even work with people with the Series 7. We got live sessions that help connect the dots, like how do I get prepared like 7 days before the exam, right? Tomorrow or Friday, I took a peek. I think Brandi's going over, what is it you're going over? OEMs, test taking techniques on Monday. And then Friday, she's going to do live quizzes and how to really get in those techniques. So we got a lot of stuff that focuses in on those live sessions on really getting prepared for those exams live. I know there's people that will help, some people do the free part of us and then they go ask people in the office how they do it. And they kind of do the techniques. They kind of do Kona. Look, guys, there's only one way to do Kona. You go all the way in on it, right? Or you just got to get on that Discord. We got the Kona Discord, the community. Ask Brandi questions. Get in on it, guys. Check us out. We have the books for sale as well. SIE 6, 63, 65, 26. Get in all the Kona. Scan the QR code. Hit the links 951-290-3077. Give us a call. Give us a text. Check us out on Instagram. All right. Tomorrow we have the SIE, the 65, Kona Study Hall, small group tutoring. Look for that reminder tomorrow morning before the class starts. It's an hour. It goes out an hour right before. Check your emails that are associated with Patreon and get that link to join in on those live sessions. Ready to
go? Yeah.
Let's do it. Let's go with the topic of the day. Tonight is a little bit of content.
Yeah. My thing is off.
Oh, what's your thing off? Oh, the graphic?
Yeah.
There's a graphic there.
There is. It's just hiding right now.
Alrighty.
Do you want me to?
Nah, let's just go for it. Okay. Spent way too much time explaining there's no graphic. Let's go.
Okay. All right, guys. So if you were look. Have your opinion about news all you want. I don't watch the news. But I do pay attention to business news and I do pay attention to what the market's doing. Why? Because you guys are all going to be financial professionals. Don't get blindsided. I did this early in my career. I super got blindsided. A client said to me, or a not prospective client came to me, or, we were meeting and he said, man, it was a crazy day on the market. And I said, it was? Don't ever do that. Don't ever do that. Guys, I'm on the West Coast and I set my alarm on my phone until I got used to doing it every day at 1:05 p.m. That's what time the markets close, at 4 p.m. Eastern. I'm on Pacific at 1:05 p.m. I just opened my pre-installed stock app on my mobile device with the Dow Jones, the S&P 500, and NASDAQ to look at what the markets did that day. That's it. No analytics, no research, no nothing. Just what did the markets close at today? Was the green or red line up and down? Was it pretty flat? That's pretty much all you really need to know.
And for the most part, pretty much everybody on here, I mean, there's going to be a lot of, there's going to be some exceptions with people and what they can give advice on when they watch this replay, or if you're on here live. You really can't give advice on the markets or any of the stocks or any of that anyway, right? You can't.
No.
It's out of your depth. It's out of what you're supposed to be doing compliance wise.
Right.
So just know that, things went up, things went down. Simple.
Yeah, exactly. Or did it look like this? You know what I mean? Just get a sense.
That's pretty solid, Brandi.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's been like that a couple days ago. You guys see what I'm saying? Just get a sense of what happened. So when you're meeting,
the stock market looks like a heart attack.
Yeah. So when you're meeting with your client and they say something like, man, crazy day on Wall Street, you kind of know what's going on. Right. At least very generically. All right. So that's what I'm going to say. So that being said, part of the headlines from Tuesday was, look at what the markets did today while they wait for the Fed's meeting, the Fed being the Federal Reserve Board. Okay.
Which is in your study.
This is all part of the SIE for sure, the 65 for sure. But also, guys, your clients are going to ask you this stuff. You are the person that they ask about this stuff, right? So we're going to keep it very simple.
Very vague.
Very simple. Very surface level, right? So when they talk about the Fed, they're talking about the Federal Reserve Board. This is the people that are in charge of the banking system. Banking system. I know some people say the banks, but banking system. They're in charge of interest rates. Interest rates. They're in charge of jobs, believe it or not. I think there's one more thing, but that's the main thing. These are the main things that they're in. Their job is to kind of make. Oh, I know. It's a big one. Monetary policy. Can't believe I almost forgot that. And monetary policy. Again, all things in your studying, right? So Federal Reserve Board's in charge of this stuff. And interest rates since probably 2020 have been the topic of every quarter.
Have you guys been hearing that?
Every quarter. Just what's the Fed's going to do? Okay. So that's what I wanted to kind of talk about today. When the Feds change interest rates, I have this little way of memorizing what they do. Oh, by the way, sometimes they call it the Open Market Committee.
I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
Makes sense, but I mean,
I did some thorough research on this thing. It's called the FOMC, the Federal Open Market Committee.
Oh, I've heard that. I've heard the acronym.
Yeah. So the Open Market Committee is the committee that decides all of these wonderful fun things. Do we change interest rates? Do we not change interest rates? Do we buy and sell securities in the open market so that way we can help influence the economy? That type of stuff. Okay. So let's talk about the interest rate changes, and we're going to talk about the interest rates real quick. I mean, we're talking super surface level. Okay. Super surface level. So when the interest rates, when the FOMC wants to buy securities, what they're doing is that they're putting money in to the economy, which means that they are going to expand the economy. Okay. When they do this, that means that they are going to change their interest rates down. They want people to borrow money so that way people spend money. Does that make sense? They want people to borrow money so they can buy things. They want to stimulate the economy. Okay. Now, if the FOMC is selling, oh wait, by the way, I usually put this right here. This was huge in 2020 after March and stimulus checks. Well, this is what the Fed was also doing. They were also buying a lot of treasuries, is usually what they buy. treasuries are high quality debt. Okay. So if the FOMC is selling securities, which is basically the exact opposite, that means they're taking money out. See, they're selling it. So they're putting the securities back and they're taking the money. Does that make sense? They're putting securities into the market. They're taking money out of the market. That means they are contracting. Okay. That means that they're going to increase the interest rates to slow the economy down. Okay. They're going to slow the economy down. Guys, it is crazy right now going on in my house. Sorry. They're saying that inflation is too high. Okay. Inflation is too high. It's getting out of control. We need to stop people from spending money. We need to stop people from spending money, going crazy over here. Okay. That is what they're doing. Does that make sense? I hope so. Now, look, none of this really made sense to me until the stuff really kind of started coming into play. And this was what, 2022, right? This is what's kind of been happening. So now if we're talking about the markets, guys, we know the tariff talk, we know shipping costs, we know all of this stuff, right? And we know that prices have been going up continuously since 2022, right? So everybody hinges on this idea of what is the Fed's going to do? Are they going to increase interest rates? Are they going to decrease interest rates? Are they going to keep them the same? Well, today, guys, they kept them the same. They usually increase or decrease by 0.25% or 25 basis points. That's not that bad, right? I mean, it could have a profound effect if you're like buying a house or something, because half a percentage point, that's a payment right there, right? But for the most part, this is usually what happens. Okay. Now, there's 4 rates that you guys need to know, and we're going to keyword this out, and then we are going to call it today. The 4 rates. We have the discount rate. We have the federal funds rate. We have the prime rate. Sorry, guys. We have the prime rate. And then we have the last one is the broker call loan rate. Broker call loan. That one's always like the easiest one to know. I'll tell you why in a minute. Okay. So these are the 4 most common rates, right? The rates that you guys are going to see in your studying. These are the rates that we talk about in the news, all that stuff, right? So let's just start with the discount rate. Guys, the discount rate is when banks borrow from the feds. So we'll go 2 banks from feds. 2 banks from feds. Right? Sounds great. The federal funds rate is for banks that go bank to bank borrowing. Bank to bank borrowing. I said that wrong, huh? 2 banks from feds. I usually go feds bank. Sorry, guys. Let me go rewrite this differently. I'm like, wait a minute. That doesn't look right. Fed to bank. All right. Bank to bank. Guys, this is an overnight loan. The bank to bank one. That was selling overnight. Check this out. This is the one that changes. So this is also called the target rate. The federal funds rate is the rate that gets changed when the feds say they're changing rates. Okay. Yes, you may need to know that for your exams. The prime rate is banks to corporations, like if they didn't want to do a bond or whatever. And then the last one, banks to broker dealers. Do you guys see it? Brokers, broker dealers for margins. Pretty much, it doesn't matter any scenario you will possibly see in a multiple choice question, no matter if it's 2 lines, 1 line, or 5 lines long. If you look at where it's going and who it's from, you'll be able to get the question correct. And that is it. Thank you, everybody.
We made it.
Yes.
I barely made it.
Yes. And yes, you can take that to the
I ain't gonna lie. There's a ton of stuff going on in our house. All dogs. Oh, it's bananas over here.
It's because you put them to bed too early.
It has nothing to do with that. It has everything to do with the. Why do you have to say things like that? Anyways, we're arguing because the dogs in the backyard are freaking out, and it's causing the dogs in the house to freak out for no reason. Anyways, here nor there. Didn't want to bring that up while we're on. Anyhow, we made it. We got through the FOMC. We got through the feds. Guys, keep your studying light before an exam. There are some scenarios like someone asked, is it okay if I look at my notes before the exam? Yeah, that's fine. That's for something. We're talking about real study sessions. We're talking about real, like where you're doing your quizzing and you want to go over an exam or you want to go over this and that and you want to go call up somebody and do this and that kind of studying for hours. Guys, got to stop doing that. Just go, if you got to peruse or thumb through your notes and go over some stuff that you always forget. Yeah, sure, that's fine. But I'm talking about like the ones studying sessions where you just like overdo it. You got to let that brain rest. And when it comes to the feds, just keep it simple, right? Keep it simple. That's it, right?
Yeah.
Anything else you want to add?
No.
Or you want to talk about the dogs? We're good? We're good. All right, everybody. We'll be back for the Studying Brew tomorrow night. We got study sessions, or we got all kinds of member sessions happening tomorrow. You know what? Stay safe out there. Wash your hands. Don't touch your face. Don't touch your friend's face. That's all I know. Keep the positive mental attitude. PMA, everybody. Have a great night.
Thank you all so much for being on. We super appreciate you. Can't wait to see you guys tomorrow.